Good morning. It's May 8th, 2023. John Gilkison here, Aero Stealth. And I wanted to do a new video today on a blog I just wrote with the title, Some People Would Rather Shovel Horse Shit. And I kind of got the idea for the blog just due to a YouTube video I was watching, and someone just used that phrase one time in the context of how people let's say you were 110 years ago in 1910, and there were people who had just bought a Model T or some other car, and they were having conversations with people who just still owned horses, and all the same parts of these conversations could be interchanged with conversations that you hear today relative to electric vehicles and internal combustion engine cars. I'll give you an example. I had a conversation with my hygienist at the dentist, and she owns a Volvo. And I told her she should buy electric. Oh, no, I love my Volvo. So I went around, after I left the dentist, and I looked at her car. And the next time I went to see her, I went around and looked at your Volvo. It's a beautiful car. I said, it just lacks an electric drive. And she says, oh, no, I love my gas engine Volvo. She says, I have to be able to go to Taos without stopping. And so that become a new catchphrase for me for lame excuses on why you won't drive electric. So anyway, it's just a 2-page blog. Like so. And I start out with a hypothetical conversation. In the year 1911, Bob Smith bought a new Model T, and he was showing it to his neighbor, Ted Jones, who was skeptical and liked his horse much better than these newfangled horseless carriages. The conversation went something like this. Well, Ted, my automobile cost about half as much to operate and feed as a horse. May be true, Bob, but the roads are so poor, you really can't travel easily in your car. But Ted, I can do over 30 miles an hour, but your horse can only gallop at half the speed. That's true, Ted admitted. However, Bob, where are you going to get your gasoline or naphtha? I hear sometimes you have to buy it at drugstores. I have on occasion, but there are more and more gas stations being built every day. Also, the country is starting to build better roads, and soon travel between cities will be possible. All that may be true, Bob, but I don't trust these infernal machines. I love my horse. So, Ted, you're telling me you'd rather shovel horse shit than drive a car at twice the speed. I guess you're right, Bob. You couldn't give me one of those rattle traps. I think I'll stick with my horse. You can go on Facebook or anywhere else. You read an article about EVs and look at the comment section and you'll run into the same stuff 110 years later. So the psychology of this hasn't changed a bit. So what I did is I wrote out 8 points. First place, there's going to be far more closely spaced DC fast charging infrastructure built out to make EV travel even more worry-free than it already is. And the EV choices will be greater at a cheaper price and capable of from 300 to 400 mile range. This is here now. It's coming soon. Gas cars will get more expensive to manufacture as the OEMs have to descale production. There will be fewer gas stations. Gasoline will get more expensive, and the price will become even more volatile than it already is. And this is an important one right here. Norms will change to the point where polluting the air with the gas engine car emissions and noise will become more and more socially unacceptable. The residual value of your gas car will erode to the point where banks will become reluctant to loan money for them. More people will wake up to the fact that EVs are far superior technology. Cost a lot less to own and operate. And there will be a small percentage of the population who will hold out and who will refuse to buy an electric car, but they will find it harder and harder to maintain their bias. Think of cigarette smokers here. They still exist, but most of us find them kind of strange. And then I did quote some statistics here. In the year 2022, the figure for EV adoption in the United States was an average of 6% of the total car market. But 40% of that figure is in California alone. In other words, 40% of all new car sales in California were electric. And that's what brings the national average up to 6%. Now, that's just an average. So, like, for example, in New Mexico, it may not be 6%. It could be 3 or 4%. But in other states like New York, New Jersey, Texas, whatever, it could be higher. Because there's 13 states that have adopted the CARB rules that California follows. So, and those 13 states represent a sizable portion of the population of the United States. Here's a fun fact. A Tesla semi-truck uses less energy than a gasoline pickup truck empty. We're talking a Tesla semi-truck towing, 82,000 pound truck. Excuse me. And an empty pickup truck at 6,000 pounds, gasoline truck, uses more energy than that Tesla semi-truck. The Tesla semi-truck's rated at 1.7 kilowatt hours per mile, and my gas truck, for instance, averages around 2 kilowatt hours per mile. So, the other day I was driving on the interstate out here going to town, and I had 3 pickup trucks queued up to go around me. I was doing the speed limit, and there they went, one after the other, and I just started counting them like a kid's game. I said, there goes 1 Tesla semi-truck, 2 Tesla semi-trucks, 3 Tesla semi-trucks. And someday people will look at all gas-powered vehicles in just the same light, even if they don't have a number to put on it. We are at a historical tipping point, and the world is changing. And most people just live in the here and now, and they really don't view the world as changing. But if you look back just 50 years, nothing that we did commonly 50 years even exists today. I haven't talked to an operator on a phone in a long, long time, for example. And text messages, the internet, none of this stuff existed. Smartphones. It's just an entirely different world. Flat screen TVs, internet TV. Artificial intelligence was just a science fiction concept then. So, like in New Mexico, you may not notice a lot of EVs on the road just yet. Now, I am noticing more. Over a year or 2 ago, I've noticed about twice as many EVs on the road. I used to go back and forth to town and maybe run across 1. Now I see 2 or 3 easily when I'm driving around. So, and that's the way exponential or sigmoid curves are. They look flat at first, but when they start the S-curve and they start to ramp up, it does it really rapidly. So, The moral of my story here is just don't get stuck shoveling fossil fuel shit any longer than you have to. So, Aero Stealth here signing out. Watch out for those electroline fumes. Bye-bye, everybody.